everyone, this is Swooper, and welcome back to a Target Acquired podcast, your weekly dose for Marvel Crisis Protocol news, strategy, and banter. We're excited to have you with us today, whether you're painting, prepping for your next tournament, or just hanging out. Before we dive in, don't forget to like this episode, hit the subscribe button so you never miss an update. And if you're enjoying the content, consider supporting us over on Patreon. Every little bit of support helps us grow the channel and bring even more awesome content your way. All right, let's get into it. Who do we have with us today?
Hey, this is Sean, aka Reynolds Wrap.
And this is Crossroads, aka Gary.
All right, in a previous episode, we went over how we think when getting started into MCP and how we chose the rosters we play with. We got a great response from the community and thought we should add a little more for those players getting into Crisis Protocol. Something I noticed with new players while I'm running tournaments or whenever I'm playing someone who's relatively new to the game. Always some sort of lingo will come out, things you hear and you just don't understand. You just get so used to using lingo in the game as a veteran player, you don't realize you are using it sometimes. So today I thought we would go over some of the most common lingo used in Crisis Protocol. We'll also be going over a topic that we are calling Don't Leave Home Without Them, where we'll be taking a look at some of the best splash characters and what splash characters we think we will see in certain affiliations. Let's get into it. So I think I'll start us off with this Crisis Protocol lingo, some of the more basic lingo that you're going to hear in the game, such as like Marvel Crisis Protocol being referred to as MCP is a common, term for it. When people say I'm going to play MCP, it'll be Marvel Crisis Protocol. With that, if you see on a lot of forums, Discord, things like that, you're going to see TTCs, which stands for your Team Tactics Cards. I don't think anybody actually calls them TTCs. I think it's just more of a, if you're reading something somewhere, you'll see that, and that gives you an idea of what it means. Really common lingo, DR, damage reduction. So this is any superpower or ability that allows damage to be reduced, such as Crossbones, I Can Take It ability. You also have builders, gainers, and spenders. These are different types of attacks. So your builder is an attack that generates power based on the amount of damage done. A gainer is an attack that generates 1 power per target no matter if damage is done. And your spender is an attack that costs power to use and usually doesn't generate. When building rosters or taking your teams on the table, it can be referred to as tall and wide. So a tall team refers to when you're taking a low number of characters with usually high threat values. And a wide team refers to when you're taking large numbers of characters, usually have low threat values. With the secures, you have pay to flips is a common term for any time you're playing a secure objective that requires a dice on the interact to take control of it, such as which ones do that?
Meteors is one.
Meteors is one of them. I don't play very many pay to flips because I don't know which ones they are.
Yeah. What's the other really big one that everyone takes where you roll your Mad Men?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
Mad Men.
Mad Men. With that, you'll have a reference to some characters we called safe grab characters. This is a character that can pick up an extract first turn and is able to retreat back towards their own deployment line. These would be long movers with medium or large bases, or characters that generate more than 1 power a turn and have superpowers that allow them to move. This can also be done with certain tactics cards, such as To Me, My X-Men. It's a very popular term. It's a great thing to think about when you first get into the game about who could be a safe grabber. And then with that, Sean, you want to continue this train?
Sure, let's go over some terms that are more character specific here. So, first one is bump. This was started with Blade's Midnight Sun's leadership, and we now refer to this as anything that has a size 1 place. So, similarly, Convocation has the same leadership ability on one side of its card. Trying to think if there's any other instances of bump in the game right now, but
Spider-Man can bump someone. ASM can bump someone away if they already have slow.
there you go.
That new Spider-Man leadership also, I think, gives you a bump.
It does, right? It's when after an attack.
Has something to do with I thought it had something to do with a skull.
Yeah, it's when you roll a skull. Yeah, it is skull related, but yes, it is a place 1 effect. Next, we have Scalpel. That was started with Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme, and that is a general term that we use for any superpower that places a character that is an ally of yours in any amount of distance.
Right, like Red Skull 3 has a scalpel.
And also Ebony Maw has a scalpel.
Yeah.
Lockjaw has a scalpel, which he's seeing a lot of resurgence in the meta right now.
Which is funny because I'm pretty sure those characters came out first.
They did, yet we still call it scalpling
Yeah.
because Lockjaw just never had his time in the sun. All right. Next is a term I only heard today. Helmet. This came from Juggernaut's ability not to be pushed or advanced by special effects. Other characters that have this are Colossus,
Blob.
Yep, there you go. Then we have Bow. You may have also heard this as Beckon because I have heard people call it Beckon, but it
I
came
have
from
never heard that. That sounds like a Malifaux player that came to MCP.
No.
very possible. The first time I heard it was someone playing New Ultron 2. And they said, I'm going to use Beckon on you. I'm like, what the fuck is Beckon? And he explained, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. Beckon away. But it came from MODOK 1, and it's a general term for any superpower that makes gives you the ability to advance an enemy character. Generally towards you, right? Isn't that all the bows are towards?
Yeah, but Bow allows you to move in any direction. I think it's just a term for moving the character out of activation.
And maybe that's why he was using the term Beckon, because it's like you're coming towards me. Not next we have Charge, which is a very generic ability. Some characters actually have Charge on their card. Others have a different ability, like Wolverine has the best at what I do. And all this means is that you pay some amount of power and you can take a move action followed by an attack action. Sometimes you get to choose what the attack action is. Sometimes it's qualified by the charge move itself.
Yeah, and just a quick little thing on that. Like the reason like Wolverines and Thors and all them are different is because they all have slightly different abilities added to it. So just so that way if somebody goes, "Oh, I'm charging you," don't always assume that if Wolverine guys says, "Oh, I'm going to charge," like that's all it does. Like it does more.
Yeah,
Yes.
usually it comes up in the instance of like they'll describe like the best at what I do to you, and you go, "Oh, so he has a charge with like a little extra."
Yeah.
And on the other side of that, we have hit and run. So it's the inverse of charge. Instead of moving and then attacking, you attack and then you move. There are several with slight differences. I don't know that there's any bonus ability on any of the other hit and runs, though.
Not to my knowledge. Well,
Like,
yeah, not to
like
my
I've seen-
knowledge.
like I think What's Her Nuts has run and gun, which is literally identical to hit and run. I can't.
Elsa?
Elsa, yes.
She does have running gun. I don't know if it's different or not.
No. It's almost
I'll
like we
look.
had.
Nope. This is action. This character immediately makes an attack action followed by a move action.
Yeah, so it's hit and run by a
Why
different
did they
name.
call it something different then?
I don't know, man. They were.
It's also funny because it's called run and gun as if you move then shoot, but in reality you shoot then move.
It looks like hit and runs can only be used once a turn. Running gun can be used multiple times.
There you go. Okay,
Oh, there
there's
you
your
go.
difference.
All right. And then the last one we have for this list, which is not a complete list, is just what we came up with, is Pounce. So it started with Black Panther 1 and became a general term for throwing your own character up the board, causing a collision. For instance, another instance of this would be Thor, Hero Midgard. He has an ability called Have At Thee, where he yeets himself medium, causes collision, but does not harm himself in the collision. I don't think there's any Pounce where you harm yourself. I'm pretty sure they're all the exact same, just by different names.
Yeah, that would be a curious thing of whether or not there's a pounce out there where you collide and you take the collision as well.
Kind of suck. It better be
Yeah,
a
it
cheap.
would. That
It
would
better
not
be
be
like
good.
a free Pounce or a 1 power Pounce. Don't ever make me pay 2 power and then make me take damage.
Right. And if you're out there listening and you can think of any other lingo or general terms that we haven't brought up, feel free to mention them in the Discord and in the comments, and we'll definitely take another swing at them and add some more to this list. Another thing, it's not like, I don't know if I would call it lingo as much, but a thing you'll hear very commonly too are crisis cards tend to get shortened to like 1 or 2 words. So the crisis card titles are cool and super themey sounding, like Daily Bugle front page titles is the whole intent. But saying we're playing Fear Grips the World as Worthy Terrorizes Cities, it's too much. So a lot of crisis cards get shortened during games or discussions. For Fear Grips the World as Worthy Terrorizes Cities is almost always known as hammers, or I've heard people say we're playing Fear Grips. A lot of the extracts tend to get shortened to whatever name you're picking up. Cubes, senators, books, scrolls, and then secures usually get shortened to whatever you're securing. We're playing intrusions. We're playing Macron. We're playing scoundrels. We're playing meteors. So those are some, common things that'll come up as you play the game that you'll realize and understand those things, that hammers means we're playing fear grips and stuff once you've played them enough.
Yeah, so that's some great information. Another thing is when we spoke a while back about building our lists, part of the discussion we briefly touched upon when we mentioned splash characters. So I thought it'd be great if we took a dive into that a little deeper, take some of the affiliations that have less than 20 characters available to them, because people like Avengers and Cabal, Criminal Syndicate, they have a ton of characters. So the splashes aren't really like needed per se. So we're going to look at some affiliations that have 20 or less available to them and discuss who we think is a good splash and what that affiliation looks for in a splash. So I'm going to preface this by saying, obviously, there is an approach to just take an overtuned character. So for example, just throw Shang-Chi and Barazimo in every list and just say, hey, we're good. But for this, let's try to avoid that and try to go with some more specific thought out answers for this.
I feel like I'm being personally called out. I mean, I start every list with Shang-Chi and Baron Zemo in it.
And I mean, there are times that is the right answer. There's a lot of times that is the right answer. But for this, we wanted to go a little more into like, let's imagine a world that Shang-Chi and Baron Zemo do not exist. Like, what would we, as people who have played this game for years now, look for when deciding on who we're splashing into a list? So we'll start out with X-Force. Now, I will say I have not had the most reps with X-Force. I think I've played them once, played against them a few times. Does anyone want to kick off with like what X-Force is looking for?
I think you're looking for characters that benefit extremely off of, the reroll that you get from the leadership. So you're also looking for characters that have their own innate rerolls built in. So you're just doubling down on those rerolls.
I'll also say you're looking for any character that has like a single requirement trigger, right? So anything that just requires a single wild and that makes that character that much better. Just
Right.
having an innate reroll from leadership helps you out a lot on that. But the only leader that you have is Cable. So you're also looking for characters that are going to synergize with Cable.
Yeah, which Cable likes being that, blaster support piece, chilling in the back, shooting at range 5, having his nice large throws, and throwing up defense dice when people need it.
Well, he really likes range 3. That's his sweet spot, right? Doesn't he get extra rerolls at range 3?
Yeah, he gets
Yeah.
extra stuff. He gets that reroll 2 dice in his attack roll at range 3.
So he's looking for basically a tank in front of him that will help displace the enemies and also just soak them up. So the first thing that came to my mind was actually Blob in this.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
He gives you
That's
the
not where
displacement.
I was going.
Yeah, I was
No?
gonna say.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one. I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that was not on my radar at all for it. I was actually thinking, and it's funny because we were just spitballing things about this character is Pyro, because he has that beam 3, which one of the things about their leadership is you don't get cover within range 3. He does have the wild incinerates. And he's a lower cost character, which when you're bringing a 5-point leader, you sort of want to look at that lower line.
So the cover thing, you have to use the reroll.
Okay.
So if you're using Pyro's beam, you can only use the reroll
On one.
for one of them. And then if they do and the enemy character is within 3, the enemy character does not benefit from cover during this attack.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It doesn't just ignore cover all the time within 3.
Okay.
You actually have to use it. I think that's like a little bit of a downside to it. I kind of wish you just got a little bit more use out of it, but then it could be like overpowered.
Yeah.
My go-to, and I know Cable's already a 5, but I was thinking King T'Challa. King T has the pounce ability to like jump forward. It doesn't cause damage, but you place himself within 2, but it adds 2 dice to his Vibranium Spear, which is range 3. If you are in range 2, which is even better, you're going to get rerolls. You're going to get 2 rerolls. Plus, you're going to get the rerolls from Wetworks, which is going to allow you to unlock a skull. Not that you would be getting cover, but it's just more rerolls on top of rerolls, and it's damage on top of damage kind of thing. But it is expensive. It's 10 points.
Hmm.
And I feel like you're going to get shot up and beat up a decent amount, so which happens to generate power to Black Panther because he has that same ability that Ghost Rider does. When your allies take damage, you get power. He's a long mover, which is really nice. Kind of makes up for Cable's somewhat slowness. He hits hard. He's got Wisdom of the Ancients.
You know what? I was going to say another one I would throw out there is Ultron Metal Tyrant. The reason why is the extra dice are pretty nice on anything that has reverse pierce built into it for defense. So he has extra mystic defense, and he does have a bow, which we talked about earlier, to help displace and place enemy characters where you want them. He's
Yeah, I
also
think it's
doubling down on that energy damage, which is what is nice about Cable. It's getting all that energy attacks in there.
that's a solid choice. That's the same thing with King T'Challa. His vibrating sphere is energy too.
Yeah, and that's the same thing with Pyro. All the energy.
Yeah, I think it's another good choice. It has the same problem that the King T has, where he's expensive.
He is a
But
5. Yeah.
sometimes, that's what you got to do. Granted, with that 5 though, you also get the drones, and that goes with Cable too, because Cable can throw terrain in any size, basically, like 1 to 4. So that gives you that option or opportunity to bring those drones back faster. The more characters that have those terrain throws.
Solid.
Yeah, I think that's a solid pick.
All right.
Even without Age of Ultron, I still think he's pretty dangerous.
Yeah, he definitely. I mean, he still hits hard.
Mm-hmm.
He's still a decent character. It's just, when the nerf hits, it's like they get the plague, and everybody wants to stay
mean-
away from him.
Age of Ultron was stupidly broken on him,
Yes,
though.
it was.
Oh, it's
It was
absolutely
excessive.
yeah. All right. Let's move on to Winter Guard, another faction that I have very limited exposure to, even though I did lose to it in one of our local tournaments. So let's
Well,
see here.
I'll throw it back out there. So our local Winter Card player literally told me his favorite splash is Ultron Metal Tyrant. And the reason being is because the Winter Guard leadership allows you to remove the stagger condition off of the drones.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I didn't even realize that it interacted that way until he told me about it. And I'm like, oh, well, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes you think.
Wondering who else that works with. Are there others that bring him back with a staggered?
Electra does, but I need to see the timing of how Electra works to know if that would actually work.
Does Red Skull 2s not do the same thing?
Red Skull 2's come out at the beginning of his activation.
Electra.
Yeah, but with a stagger, right?
Yeah.
But it wouldn't matter.
It wouldn't matter because they're already activated. I have to look at the exact wording that it was.
I don't really have an answer for this one. I don't know shit about Winter Guard, honestly. It's like one of the factions I have no clue about.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
I gotta look at their re-look at their leadership.
So the reason why it works for Ultron is because you can bring out the drones with any other character, but the drones come out with the stagger condition. So when Ultron goes to activate, the very first thing that happens is the leadership triggers, which you remove the stagger condition from the drones because they activate first before Ultron. And if Ultron has his own condition, he can then clear his own. Unless
So
it's
then
locked
so
per
then
turn.
what happens with Red Skull is Red Skull activates, they pop out.
So that's
They
why
have
you
a
can't clear
stagger on them. So
theirs.
next turn though, they could get rid of it before they activate.
Well, they already got rid of it because they come out immediately and activate when they come out. So they just only get one action when they come out from Red Skull.
Red Skull lets them come out before they activate? Because technically the grunt should activate first.
Need to double check his card. I believe they get to activate when they respawn.
It
from Red
says
Skull too.
when Red Skull is chosen to activate.
Yes. So when you choose the character, then the grunts come out, and then they immediately activate before he activates.
Okay.
Which I guess that would then work with the Red Skull thing, right? Or not with the Winter Guard, right? Because you'd be able to clear that because it's all simultaneous at the beginning of the.
That's what I was trying to think. Is
Yeah,
whether
so
or
it
not,
says
like,
at the start of the grunt's character's activation, Red Skull, for instance, can the grunt activate and use Unbreakable Red Line to remove a condition, and then parent character also use the leadership to remove a condition? Yes, at the start of the grunt's character's activation, it may trigger Unbreakable Red Line to remove a condition. The parent character may then do the same at the start of their activation.
Okay, so it works on Red Skull and it works on Metal Tyrant.
Yeah.
So there you go.
It would not work on
Furies because they have already activated when they come out.
or Daredevil or Elektra because they come out off of the attack.
Yeah. But they also don't come out staggered.
Correct. They come out after the activation. But they get a free attack when they come out.
Yeah, mine do not.
The hand ninjas get an attack.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
hand ninjas do. The agents do not. The agents unfortunately just come out. They can grab stuff though.
They
which is
can
really-
interact with they can interact though, right? Immediately.
Yep, that's the nice part about bringing them out. Once you KO somebody, you bring them out. You can grab something. Everybody, I think, all the grunts have their strengths and of course their weaknesses. Looking at like the leadership and stuff, so like the benefit of not being pushed or things like that. I think Lizard's a solid splash.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
You know,
Yep.
he moves pretty far. He's pretty tanky. The big thing with him would be just to displace him.
Yeah.
But
I think Blob's right there in the same boat.
Blob already can't be pushed natively.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think Lizard because of the medium movement is a big thing because you get that extra, long movement on him, and his attacks are generally like shorter range, so you don't want to get displaced because you don't want to have to move just to get it because he doesn't have any movement shenanigans of his own. You have no choice but basically to waste an action and move.
You know what's funny? You can take Hood and heal people and give them bleed, and then they just remove the bleed.
There you go. That's a pretty solid one then. Yeah, I
I
think.
was trying to see if you can make Sandman work with it. You cannot.
Oh my god, I did the same thing where I looked at Sandman for some reason. I was like, why am I gravitating towards this guy? And I just didn't see any benefit to it.
No,
Where I was like,
every time I read his card, I get so angry reading
Spoiler
the
alert,
card.
Sandman will not be in any of these. Oh, man. All right. So let's move on to Weapon X. And you guys are the Weapon X masters, at least for
who's
the
you guys?
at least
Yeah, the character.
The character Weapon X, yes. I mean, I played Weapon X a few times. God, all right, hold on. Let me make sure if every I mean Toad. But Toad is like one of those ones you can slot in anywhere.
The problem with Weapon X is that their leadership only affects Weapon X.
yeah.
So like when you splash somebody in, you're not getting any benefit from the leadership. So there's not really like, too many crazy things you could do there. What you're doing, I think, is you're just looking to fill a hole.
Yeah, and I mean honestly, this is just one of those where like pick your favorite Killy character, or if you're going that route, and just plunk them in.
Right. I mean, I would argue like, I can't sing the praises of King T more, but I think King T is another really great option for this.
Yeah.
I also think the Black Widow is a solid option for this. The 4-cost one.
Just for the martial arts and the long
Well, the
movement?
martial arts, she has an outrageous amount of movement. Her spender also is kind of like Zemo's, where she gets a medium movement out of things. She hands out shocks, which is really great, so that way your Weapon X characters aren't taking as much of a beating. She makes an excellent extract grabber, so where you could send like X-23 out there, or Weapon X, or whoever else out there to brawl. The Black Widow can run around and grab stuff, and she drops it backwards. So I think she's a solid choice. I think she's a general really good character. My issue with her is just that usually when I'm playing her, I take a 2-cost Black Widow because I need a 2. But they already have their 2.
I mean, the key thing with Weapon X splashes is they never want something that is more than a 4, basically. It just plays against their style. They're usually a go wide affiliation.
hmm Yeah, they definitely have a lot of low cost. The other thing I'm trying to think, they're a lot of physical, aren't they?
They're almost entirely.
They're almost entirely.
Yeah, other than it looks like Maverick. Oh wait, it's Domino. Domino has energy.
Domino has energy attacks. Her spender and her grenades are energy attacks.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe thinking someone along the lines to shore up that, because, going all physical sometimes has its issues.
Yeah, but they're playing more of extract play. I mean, honestly, Fury synergizes pretty well with this because you get the extra extract grabber off the grunts, and your leadership regenerates its tokens off at any time something is dazed or KO'd. So you just let those grunts die.
Well, that's a good call. Yeah, that's definitely a way to make the leadership work for someone who's not Weapon X.
I'm pretty sure that is the minus Sandman. Fury's the cheapest grunt producer. I guess Elektra and Shadowlands are in there as well.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want the other two though.
There you go. This is where you take Sandman and just move him away, and that's all he
And let
does. He
those,
just
just
he
keep on
just sits
KOing
there
those
and just
grunts.
keeps KOing his own grunts. He's like a memory factory.
That's okay. I don't think that's that strong because he's taking 2 damage each time he does that. And he can only double stack it once a turn because then after that he's only regenerating 1.
I think another good character to back up the rest of the team, I think Silver Sable is a solid choice. She allows you to give them movement, so it lets your Weapon X brawly characters get into combat better. You can add dice to their attacks. It would be also somebody that you can leave in the back that's still providing like support, because a lot of those Weapon X characters don't want to sit in the back. So you kind of need that long range character or that really cheap character that you don't mind just sitting on that what is it? Extremist point in the back.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you just take Rocket in the back with that range 5. Let him go.
Well, Silver Sable also has range 5, and
Mhm.
both
She's a
her
4.
yeah.
Right, but she's also moving your characters too. So if they get displaced,
She
you
can
have
kick 'em
that
back
opportunity
in.
to kick
Yeah.
them back in. And then she's also adding die to their attack rolls. So like, especially for Wolverine, where it's like, oh, I want wilds, you know, adding a die, you get a wild counts as 2 more. That can really add up. Or if you're just going straight attrition like that, man, I think Gambit's a solid add.
Yeah.
He sticks with your like cheap cost thing.
He's just attrition is not what I'm going to try to do with Weapon X if I'm playing a weapon.
Right, but he also has displacement, which is really nice, which is really easy to get. And then if you just happen to be around a couple other characters, you play Dark Past, and all of a sudden your Weapon X characters have stealth.
I do love that card.
Yeah, it's a solid card. It comes in like it's like a clutch card where you can force your opponent to come to you to do damage to you. And it's like, sure, I want you to come to me.
There's also the OG Miles Morales Venom Blast drop tokens that the character's holding. He's got his web swing. It's pretty survivable.
Yeah, he makes a generally good splash in most affiliations, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think Fury was a really good call though because of the grunts and being able to generate those memory tokens so you can spend them like candy. Oh, that was a good call.
Let's jump on to Spider Foes.
All right, this is the affiliation I know the least about.
I mean, a big one is when you start looking at like the trap house and just running anybody you can think of that has any kind of like trips and traps mentality.
Your Rockets, New Silk.
Yeah. And I mean,
I don't know
even
anybody else who has them.
even some of like the trickier ones like Mystique blowing up terrain, Punisher. Who else is there? Avalanche has his Beware of Falling Debris.
But yeah, that one's taking some getting used to. I've been playing a lot of him lately, and I forget that it is not during your activation. It's a responsibility, you know?
I don't remember who else has traps.
I don't know. I mean, I know Silk, we just talked about her. That's not an affiliation because Mysterio is definitely in affiliation, right?
Yes, Mysterio is. Silk is not. But yeah, Silk is the one that we were just talking about with the Caught in the Web. And the fact that the spectacular spinning Jenny can move everyone to trigger everyone else's traps.
I mean, I guess you can throw Iceman in that category, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's got the same kind of thing. His is just, not doing the rolling the dice of damage, but can be causing damage as it goes along. And slowing your opponent is, of course, great.
And also,
I think Spider Foes, though, really benefit just from Spider Foes themselves. I think they're a pretty solid
they do work.
roster where they cross between like, oh, if you're gonna splash, you're technically like splashing crime characters, which are almost always Spider Foes too, kind of thing.
Yeah, they're very cohesive. Like they all play very well together.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm thinking like anybody that just moves people. We talked about the bows and stuff. Like that's also great to like trigger everything. But
Right, it seems to be tending towards like you're a little bit on the slower moving side than with most of the characters.
Oh,
Well,
you just
it's true. You have Black Cat as your long mover.
you just triggered Dan.
Well, I mean, like Lizard's no joke. Your medium move on a medium base.
Yeah.
Rhino can definitely haul ass across the board after usually first turn.
Electro can teleport across the size 4 terrain.
Right, they all have their shenanigans,
Yeah.
but just in the first turn seems to be a slower turn.
Yeah.
It's like a builder, you're building up.
All right. So yeah, I mean, Spartafoes, I think, like you said, they're a really good collective force, but it is possible to throw a little spice in there. Speaking of throwing a little spice, how about New Mutants? They're a newer affiliation. Their leadership is really interesting.
Yeah, we already did almost a whole episode on what we think is great in New Mutants as far as general roster, right? When we were doing that doubles list.
I still stand by Iceman. I played
Yeah,
it.
Iceman for sure.
Iceman is definitely really great because his little ability will go off after you pull him in.
I like
So I
any character that has like a taunt ability or anything like that. You got Namor, you got Black Bolt that are both great characters for that.
Cage,
Cage,
even
another one.
Colossus. I think Colossus is a solid one for
Yeah,
it
because once he's up there, they're not displacing them unless they throw him.
right. Well, that and also you can if you need him to get really far, he can Big Brother and leadership. So Big Brother will move him to 2, and then the leadership moves him the other part. So he can really haul ass up the board.
Yeah, because you would leadership first.
Is the leadership after or before?
Leadership, you declare it when they're targeted, but then it triggers after.
Yeah. So you'd have to do. I think you'd have to do Big Brother first. Is what I would think.
Yeah.
But either way, I mean, whatever order it works in, it still gets you up there. Because I think you have to do Big Brother first.
Would that?
Because you couldn't put him up there, then Bodyguard, right?
Yeah. So I'm trying to think how that would work because then he becomes the target of the attack. So who would the leadership go off of?
Are you talking about Colossus?
Yeah.
Colossus doesn't become the target of the attack if he's not in range. So you're using Big Brother to push forward.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you're not using it for the actual Bodyguard part of it, but it is setting it up. So now he is up there right away, pretty far up. Especially if he got caught off on the left flank or the right flank. And you need him somewhere else pretty
Gotcha.
quickly. Between those two, it's what, a 2 movement and a 3 movement?
Yeah, you move a 2. Well, you move 2, and then the leadership targets anybody within 3, and it places them within 1.
Okay, so yeah, that's even further than 3.
Yeah.
That's far for all of a sudden he's on the other side of the board.
Yeah, that's a big movement because that's one of the things I really like when I've been trying out Mephisto, because Mephisto has that you become the target of the attack and within 3 and I place you within 1. And that's
Yeah.
like a big movement.
He might not even be a bad choice either.
Mephisto, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it gets him up the board.
But yeah,
Right.
you attack somebody and then all of a sudden Mephisto is right next to you with his beam online.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad news.
And then you get to save the power instead of you teleporting because you're using the New Mutants
Yep.
teleport.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
I think, of course, 2 Hulks are always good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the Hulks, the surprise Hulks played most
Yeah.
often.
I think they're solid choices. Just anything that makes them, move up the board and get ready, to be where they need to be. But I think Hulks in general are just okay splashes. You usually see them in a lot of places. But yeah, I think Colossus and Mephisto are 2 solid ones outside of Iceman. I think Iceman is also very good.
Yeah, I think Iceman's like the spiciness that just keeps on giving.
I'm sure there are other characters too that we're not even thinking of that have those kind of interactions, but I just can't think of them right now.
Yeah, like when an ally's attacked within blank, but
But you know who's not a bad option? The same is Claw.
with the beam.
No, because Claw has Soundwave Barrier. If let's say they hopped on a point, they're attacking your friend, like one of your allied characters. Claw's within 3 so they get targeted with the attack. So then Claw uses the leadership, hops within 1 of, Sunspot that's getting attacked. Then after that character's done attacking Sunspot, you Soundwave Barrier when their activation's done, and you push them off the point. Because Soundwave Barrier happens after the enemy character has activated completely.
That's interesting.
Yep. So that way, if you think you're in trouble of like, oh no, they're going to take the point, or I just need to get him off the point or whatever, let them, or even if they just double, like kind of move up and take that point, you get Claw up there somehow, bam. Especially like on us, like Witnesses. See ya.
I mean, he is a 5, but yeah, it's not
Yeah,
bad.
but in New Mutants, you have room for that like larger character splash. That's why the Hulks work pretty well in there. Because most of their characters are generally pretty cheap. I mean, your leader's a 3. You're taking probably like Warlock and X-23, so you're only at like a 9 core. So you usually got a pretty big range to play around with other stuff. I don't know how well like Claw fits into the other stuff because their cards obviously don't benefit him or anything that I'm aware of. I think they're all like they have to be New Mutants to play the cards. But that's not bad, man. You just pull him up and you're like Soundwave Barrier, bam, and just spread everybody out that was on the points, especially if it's like at the end.
Yeah,
I'm
feel
looking right
like
now
you
just to make sure it's
you
like
feel like you catch your opponent out once with that, and then they're like, "Yeah, I'm not doing that as the last activation anymore."
yeah, but you don't have a choice. Like, what are you gonna do? Even if it's not your last activation, what it is Soundwave Barrier goes off after the character has activated.
You just change your target priority to Downing Claw. It's not like Claw is invincible.
Sure, go after him then. That's fine.
Let magic live.
Right, exactly. But then you have to get through Claw is the problem because he can heal himself. I mean, he's not great, but he has high stamina. He's 7 on both sides. He's got 5 energy defense, 3/3 for the others. So sure, you want to do that? Sure. But then you're not scoring points.
He's also immune to bleed, incinerate, poison, and shock.
And then you just push like every time they come after you. All right, you can come after me. That's great, but I'm on the point. So if you're going to come after me and try to steal the point, I'm just going to push you away. And every time he gets targeted by a physical or energy attack, just targeted,
Or dodge roll.
or a dodge roll, he just generates an extra power. And he has helmet.
Except for energy, I believe. Yes, it's against enemy energy
Yeah,
attacks.
that's the difference.
Yeah.
His helmet is energy attacks.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think it's a solid place for him.
All right, let's hop on. Let's go to Inhumans. Sean, you've been playing a bunch of Inhumans, right?
I've been playing some Inhumans. I mean, right now my favorite splash is Voodoo, but that's pretty obvious why. Yeah, just having that brother, what the hell is it?
Daniel.
Daniel. I was about to say Jonathan, and I'm like, that's Honey Badger's bullshit. Brother Daniel online turn 1 is pretty freaking awesome. But honestly, anything that has like a 2 power throw, you have Beta Ray Bill, for instance, in there is a solid choice.
Anybody has a charge is a solid choice.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing. Shang-Chi has a charge.
Right. I think any character that has basically like a 2 cost power that you want online really quickly, or if they generate more, have like a 3 cost power you want online right away. Those are solid splashes.
Too bad Jane's 5 points. You could 4 Midgard first turn.
I mean, it's not horrible. If you're taking Black Bolt, it's just 10 points. And then, from there, it's just you're taking a cheaper side of the team, like Quicksilver. Beast is a great option for it too.
Well, I mean, you also have Karnak and Gorgon in that affiliation now. So
yeah,
there you
so
go.
like being, putting in an expensive splash is really not that bad anymore.
Yeah, because Jane plus Black Bolt plus Gorgon and Karnak is only 16.
That's not bad at all. Yeah, but like I think Jane has a lot of things that they turn on. The fact that she's generating 2 power a turn, and then someone can give her that third. She can 4 Midgard every turn, where she can enter strength.
I mean, she only needs that the first turn. She's a power engine once she gets that first charge off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but getting it going first turn is such a big deal.
It is.
'Cause I also like if we're just like for charge and stuff, I like Weapon X a lot. Charge him in there. You're also able to. It's nice for him because all of his abilities are generally gainers, and by using Black Bolt's ability to shove off more power on him allows you to get that spender off. And then the spender generates its own extra attack with the right triggers to do it all over again. So him being able to get more power is a good thing.
I think
So
it,
yeah,
I think it also frees up some safe grabs for like midline grabs. So like, if I'm thinking about this correct, like let's go with Juggernaut. He generates 1. He moves, gains 2 to put him at 3. Normally, he couldn't. Nothing stops the Juggernaut because he wouldn't have the power to pick something up.
Oh, that's pretty
But
good. That's
he
pretty
would
good.
have the bonus power from Inhumans to pick something up on the midline after a double move, and then nothing stops the Juggernaut backwards.
Yeah. I also like the Wrecking Crew for almost the same reason, but it wouldn't be a safe grab, but it would allow you to bulldoze right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's just anything that needs one more power to
Yep.
be
Do you need
online
one more
turn 1.
power? Inhumans is the place for you.
If you're like,
Yeah.
man, I only needed 1 more power. All right, so let's move on to Hydra.
God, talk about an well, the obvious one is Sleeper Agent Hulk.
Yeah,
For
I think that's a
So for anyone that doesn't know what Sleeper Agent is, it's a Team Tactics card in Hydra, and it basically makes it so you cannot play any reactive superpowers or Team Tactics cards, correct?
Hey, it gives you what's it called? Ability. Mystique's
Mystique's
ability.
ability, right? Yeah. The card does go away if Hulk ever tries to attack and fails to daze or KO his target. So Sleeper Agent Hulk literally never swings. He just moves around and throws people. That's all he does. At least for the first few turns. Other than that, this is a very heavily Splash affiliation.
I
It's not
think Hood is another good one at this part because the leadership will activate on both fronts for him. Because he gives his own characters bleed, and then he'll give out bleed to other characters. I think Pyro is a solid choice here because Pyro should be handing out conditions left and right. Because you can incinerate somebody through attacks, and let me see this. Oh, it's once per turn. That's a bummer.
under Red Skull 2, you do generate a lot of power in this affiliation. So any character that needs constant feeding of power does benefit in this affiliation. I'm just trying to think of a good instance of a character who needs power every single turn.
I think Crimson Dynamo is a solid one for that because he will sit on those points and he will generate power for more disruption fields.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Yeah.
also think characters like Lizard who maybe don't want to attack but want to have their throws online.
Yeah.
Would benefit from it.
To be able to move out, throw, run back.
Yeah.
Those all seem like solid choices.
Guardians, honestly, I think Guardians is just summed up by who do you want to have rerolls?
Yeah, pick a kaiju is how I keep on seeing Guardians played.
It
Who's
really
your favorite
is.
kaiju?
It's like, you know what would make Hulk better? 2 rerolls. You know what would make Guardian better? 2 rerolls. You know what would make
Do you know what would make King T'Challa better?
2 rerolls?
2 rerolls on top of his 2 rerolls on top of counting skulls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think there's too much to say about Guardians. They're really small, like point costs, so it's easy to throw a kaiju. I mean, we've seen what? We've seen Thanos, Hulks,
Cosmic.
Cosmic. Well,
Cosmic was
wasn't a
affiliated,
Flash,
yeah.
but
Guardian. There's just Guardians is literally like who is, or I'm not sorry, not Guardian, Gladiator. It's like literally just like who's a kaiju we can put in here. And oh, by the way, kaiju should be added to that list of terminology.
Of
my
terms,
God,
yeah.
how the hell did we forget that one? For those
So-
of you listening,
Yes, go ahead, John. Explain the kaiju.
kaijus are high threat characters. I would say a kaiju is 6 or above, 6 being like maybe even just like 7 or above kind of thing. No, 6 because Hulk's a kaiju.
Yeah.
6 or above, and they are just like they can do so many things. They eat up a lot of your points, but they do so much, and they're tough. So they're basically like a Godzilla running around the board. Hence why they're called kaijus.
Yep. Big, hard to take down, definitely impacts the game.
Usually deals obscene amounts of damage. Looking
Yeah.
at you
And
for
like action economy is crazy.
Yep. And not all 6-point characters are kaijus because let's
'Cause
talk
we have
about
She-Hulk.
let's talk about Brotherhood.
Oh, Magneto. Oh,
So the next on our list is Brotherhood.
They would like a splash a new leader. Actually, no, Mystique is good. Or
I think Mystique is fine. I've been playing Brotherhood a lot lately, and with the new box, I don't have too much of like a splash because adding those, you just added Avalanche, and Lady Mastermind, so you're adding more cheap characters to it, so they can go like really wide if you want to.
But what about Nick Fury?
Nick Fury was solid. I actually was leaning towards Red Skull 2 more than Nick Fury because of Mystique's leadership.
Because you can tag one of the
Yes.
secures. Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
And I would much rather do that than with the grunts, I feel like.
Well, you have both then. You have the token plus the grunts to take 2 secures.
Yes. And at like certain points, like having the grunts is really good because it just lets you go like extra wide, even though you're taking a 5 cost instead of a 2 and a 3 at some point. You're still, I mean, I think I was going 7 wide at like 19 and 20.
And those grunts slap from him.
Yeah, they're not bad, but it's nice because you don't have to hold that back point thanks to Mystique's leadership. It allows Red Skull to like just go ham out there and his grunts to not just have to sit back there the whole time. They can take a side one.
Weren't you running Wrecking Crew in Brotherhood a lot as well?
I was running Wrecking Crew in Magneto Brotherhood for the reason of destroy terrain. So you take Magneto, Juggernaut, Wrecking Crew, and whoever else, but you're able to throw the terrain early, which turns online Bulldoze, which allows Juggernaut to bulldoze forward to destroy terrain, which turns on the Wrecking Crew's Bulldoze, which destroys terrain, which turns on somebody else's ability. So it's almost like a Professor X kind of thing, but instead of superpowers, I'm using terrain.
And that's when you need the Ultron grunts.
Yeah. That gets expensive though.
Yeah. You got Magneto 6, Juggernaut's 5, Ultron's 5. You're at 16 points.
16 points, then you add Wrecking Crew, so you're at 20.
Yeah, but that doesn't even work because you're not affiliated at that point.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
You'd have to do it in a teams tournament.
Yeah. I think anybody who can benefit from the power is decent in Magneto. I think Magneto is just a
Unfortunate.
little like outgrown, I guess, kind of thing.
Yeah.
He's just such an older character that he doesn't have the effect he used to.
The power creep is real.
Yes. For him especially, I think he's like the biggest sufferer of the power creep. But I do still think like Brotherhood's solid. I think Mystique's really good. I would probably bust out Magneto every once in a while. And I do like the idea of like Wrecking Crews, I think is my go-to like splash. If you haven't seen them on the table, they're totally worth trying. They're not bad at all. They
Fun.
hit really hard. They don't really have much for defensive wise, but you're going to get a turn where you're going to do some damage, and that can really spin the game quickly, because then they're gonna be like, oh shit, I have to get rid of these guys. Make them the target. I think that's like their job, because you can't ignore them. You ignore them and it's too much.
Yeah,
they're running around with a mystic beam. They're stunning, staggering, throwing, charging. Like they're going to be in your face. You're going to have to deal with them, which means then you're not dealing with Magneto or you're not dealing with Juggernaut because you're too busy dealing with Wrecking Crew. If you have magnetic refraction, you can give Wrecking Crew cover, so that's another benefit there. They can easily destroy terrain, which pops off the leadership. So then Magneto, Juggernaut, and whoever else can have more power to do things.
Yeah, I think they're good. I love playing them in my crime.
Yeah, I like them in general. I think they're just a great all-around character.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to Wakanda. Wakanda's interesting because they're one of the like mid factions where they will absolutely kill you, but they will absolutely outscore you also.
I don't really have an answer for this one either. I don't play Wakanda at all. I've never played Wakanda, so
yeah.
This is a tough one for me.
What is M'Baku's leadership exact? It's 1 reroll?
It is once per turn when an allied character is contesting an objective token and would be pushed or placed by an enemy effect, roll a die. If it is a wild, crit, or defense, the character is not pushed or placed. Additionally, once per turn, when a character makes an attack, if there are 1 or more wild results in its attack roll, it may change 1 die to a hit.
All right, you know who immediately jumps out for that second part? Gambit and Nebula.
Yeah.
Those are both good calls. Gambit would be crazy because you can turn it to a hit, and then you could
double
spend
count
his
the wild
superpower to turn it to a wild, So it's like, oh, I got a free hit. No, I got 2.
Yeah, I think Gambit's a good call there.
Yeah, I think anybody we said for Winter Guard will also be a solid choice. Like if you're not going to get pushed and stuff like that, like Lizard's a solid choice. They don't have like their roster's really small.
Yeah.
And it's small
Yeah.
because their characters are like the same character over and over again. There's 3 Black Panthers, there's 2 Killmonger. You know, they could benefit from all the usual suspects. Hulks, Shang-Chi,
Yeah,
Zemos.
Shang-Chi you see a lot.
Red Skull 2 is another good one for them. But I think Nebula is a solid choice there for that too.
Yeah, anything like
Gives
gets
them that
you.
2, even though they already have it, but they can go wider.
I mean, she doesn't help you score because she doesn't contest, but it's the full rerolls into someone. You're gonna get a wild more than likely.
Yeah, just make her a nuisance.
Let's move on to Midnight Suns.
God, there's one so obvious for that.
Yeah, well, Red Skull 2 is the obvious pick. Being able to bump with Red Skull 2 is
Absolutely
very, very
insane.
good.
It's kind of a war crime, to be honest with you.
Hulk is also another great option for it. Bumping Hulk is really great. 'cause
Yeah,
he
but they
has
have
extra
Hulk.
power. They do, but like they're 2 different animals though at the
They
same
are.
time.
You know what? I'm going with it. Mephisto.
And
I don't know if you want the bump so much with Mephisto. You might. I mean, bump's good in general. Like no matter who, it's like a Steve leadership where almost anybody will benefit from bump.
I know Wrecking Crew is another one that benefits with
Oh my god, on a large base, yes.
Yeah, anything on a big base really loves bump.
Yeah, any large base model, solid choice for bump. Any slow character as well, like Blob is a slow character, so like bump is huge because it's a, you know, it may be only a range 1 move, but you're on a medium base, so it's significant movement sometimes. Because the difference between a small base and a medium base is dramatic.
It's a lot. It's almost a range 2 place difference.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think bump is really good for a lot, and it's good. You know, you got characters with beams that it puts in the perfect situation. You know, because it's never you always have that like, oh, if only I was slightly to the left. But even something is like when something has a throw away or a push away, just getting that better alignment is great. I'm looking through their roster. They have a decently stacked roster.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty solid. I'm not saying Voodoo because Voodoo's already affiliated.
Yeah.
Right. You know, Bill, I think, of course, is good to get him up there. Rhino.
I did not know Black Cat was in Midnight Suns.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's good. I love her.
Midnight Suns is a weird roster.
Yeah.
She doesn't really benefit from the bump, but she's just a great all around
Yeah,
character.
she's just good all. Just being, but the nice part too is also with her is like, oh, she could siege,
I don't know, that bump to move you from range 2 to range 1 for a steal
That's true.
might be pretty critical.
Well, there's also there's that. There's also
Oh,
being like, I did the steal and now I'm gonna bump just outside a stealth range from someone, so you
Oh,
can
you bump, then you grappling hook.
Yeah.
If you're out of, if you stole but you have plenty of power, you bump, you grappling hook, so you're place 1, place 2.
Yeah, there's so many times there's so many moves up and attacks Black Cat from range 2. And I'm like, like now I need to just move that little bit.
Well, now you need to play
steal.
Convocation for that. If you want to do it. Oh, you wanted steal. Sorry.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I thought you were getting
because
out
like
of range.
you got to be range 1 to steal. So it's like they move within range 2, make their attack give me power. Now it's my turn. Now I'm like, well, great. Steal's an action now, so I have to move to get in
Or
range to
grappling hook.
steal, or grappling hook to get in range to steal, and then run away. Or I could just, if I had bump, I'm like, oh, I can bump, steal, move long, and then still grappling hook if I need to get even farther. But it's such a better scenario. But she's affiliated, so that's sort of derailing the conversation. Black Order. So Black Order, I feel like the great go-to answer is Nebula. Black Order is attrition.
Oldie but
Killmonger.
goodie. Killmonger, yeah.
Yeah. And like they
I think
really
anybody who scores victory points, like you're already, kind of an attrition based faction, but being able to score those extra victory points out of like normal scoring times, like Spider Woman.
I was about to say Spider Woman with Interrogate, especially if you're
Yeah.
going with the Days plan.
I mean, it was really like when I played Black Order, it was like I had my 3-person core, and then it was like if I needed 2 more points, it was Nebula, 3 more points was Zemo, 4 more points was Killmonger, and it just was basically like how many points is my splash going to be? But now you probably don't splash anybody in Black Order because you're not playing them.
If attrition makes a comeback, there will be a place for them.
Yeah, I think there's people that do attrition better than them right now, so we'll have to see. Convocation. I know nothing about Convocation.
So same concept with Midnight Suns. Anything that benefits from bump. So you got Rhino. That's kind of fun in there. Is Voodoo affiliated? If Voodoo's not affiliated, then definitely
He is.
Voodoo. Okay.
Yeah.
Plus, you're also making Rhino's attacks Mystic at one point, which is crazy. Oh no, that's not what Books does.
No, it gives you extra defense.
It makes you use it against Mystic defense. I'm sorry, that was my dumb fault.
Yes, which the nerf to Books. I mean, you used to say Ultron Mental Tyrant before Books got nerfed.
Yeah, Bob's probably not a bad choice.
Just to flip them.
Yeah, just to get Books.
No, because that was the thing that screwed up. It's only off of KOs, not dazes.
Oh.
Non-grunt KO. That
Well,
was the change that they made that made
that's
Books pretty
unfortunate.
unplayable. Yeah.
Yeah, Books is a little rough now.
I think anybody, I think bodyguards are solid choices here. Just so you don't get punked out by those like physical attacks that you can't stop because you don't have Books up. I would almost say like Black Bolt 1. He's expensive, but it's a 1-cost bodyguard. He can take a hit, and he would definitely benefit from the leadership being able to bump and hop into areas to bodyguard more.
I'm more thinking about the inverse way, which is so I'm thinking of Bill and of Rhino because of aggressive. You can bump at them and then aggressive even further.
There you go. That's a good call too.
That's an interesting, yeah, because you could aggressive and then bump depending on how
You can aggressive then bump, and so doing that, you can actually go beyond them. So say they're on a back point and they shoot you. You aggressive at them, then you bump at them, and then you're like, oh well, now it's actually my point.
Yeah,
Right, especially with Rhino being on a large base.
Yeah, he hauls.
Huge movement. Yeah, that's a solid choice.
it's interesting. Rhino and Convocation. Who would have thunk it?
Right?
You think I came up with that?
You definitely don't want him using his mystic defenses though.
That's true.
All right, let's. So I have Apocalypse on here.
Splash is none.
I was gonna say sometimes I think the answer is just no splash.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know someone who could hand out a massive amounts of conditions, but I don't feel like you're ever gonna have the room for the characters because you're gonna want the horsemen. So like even if you went at the cheapest point of horsemen, so let's say you have a 3 for horsemen, so you have 6, 8, plus you have
6 on.
Apocalypse as 6, so you're at
14.
14, yes, 14. I mean, I guess at 14, then like you want somebody who hands out conditions because that's the whole point.
You can also just take the 4th horseman though at the same time.
Yeah, let's say if you also made him a 3, so you're at 17, so your splash could probably be a 3 cost. Is that maximum of 20?
Okay, so you take Strucker and do AoE poisons.
Yeah, what conditions does he need to get his throw off? Because that seems to be the hardest thing to do.
That's true. I need to double check.
Because it's definitely 2 conditions. You have to have root and shock. Jesus.
Doesn't Pyro hand out root?
Pyro hands out root with his firewall, and then if Apocalypse puts out an attack, he can either give them shock or root. So Pyro is a pretty solid choice then, just to be able to guarantee that root's out there.
I think, is there any 3s that hand out shock?
Yeah, there definitely is.
Should know.
Aram Zola, yeah. Gorgon, there you go, Gorgon.
Yeah, Gorgon would be a solid choice. Give you 3s, gives you a beam.
What? I got the best one, right, for this? Hawkeye.
I do love Hawkeye. That's not a bad call
No,
because
it's
he can
not.
put out different conditions as well. And he can't hand out root, but he can hand out shock all over the place.
Yep.
Yeah, I like Hawkeye. And plus he also gives you the person to sit back and hold those points because there is no real long range character, I feel like, in Apocalypse.
Well, you know who else hands out shock at long range?
Are you going with Spider Ham?
I am going with Spider Ham.
Throwing
what?
range 4 pies. Hands out
Yeah,
shot.
no, but what do you need to get it?
A wild.
Just a wild?
Just
Yeah.
a wild.
Oh, that ain't bad.
It's only a 2 threat.
Yeah, you would need a 3 though. So like if you're at 19, yeah, you would get all the horsemen at Spider Ham.
I mean, Storm has a range 4 wild shock.
She sure
Thinking
does.
of someone else, you threw me off by saying something silly.
It's not that silly.
Well, you have Warlock that can do shock and poison.
Now you just got me up back on the train. I like Warlock. I think he's surprisingly good. I was gonna put him in my Brotherhood. He just unfortunately there's too many good spots for Brotherhood characters, and all their cards you have to be a Brotherhood character. That's the only reason he didn't make it.
But Spider-Man Noir hands out slow and shock on his beams.
Yeah, I'm not really sure that's the exact one. I like Hawkeye over him for
Yeah,
Apocalypse.
I really like Hawkeye, so I'm fine with that.
All right, I'm gonna stop looking at 3 threats now. All right, so on to Asgard.
That's a tough one because ask me this question 8 months ago, I have a very different answer.
I don't know what the answer is.
I mean, you could just go really tall and go big boys, and your obvious choice is Hulk.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just that I don't know that they do great at the full on attrition game anymore.
so what leadership do you think you're running, Jane or Loki?
I mean,
I think they both have their like merits and why you would use one over the other.
yeah. I mean, honestly, Loki I use for whenever I need more disruption. So against like webs, Loki's great. If I'm just going straight brawling though, Jane.
Yeah,
Problem is you have to keep affiliation. So like, what else are you taking in there? You got Beta Ray Bill. You got Lady Sif.
I know I've already said him a whole bunch, but King T really benefits from Mighty Thor's leadership
Yes.
because you're getting 2 rerolls off of your Vibranium Spear already, and then the leadership is giving you an extra reroll.
yeah. You just have to make sure you're within 2 instead of 3.
Well, in order to get the rerolls, you have to be within 2 with the spear.
Oh, okay,
If you're within 3 with the spear, you pull somebody towards you short.
gotcha.
Yeah, because then what it could be too is if you jump out and you're out of the 2, you get the reroll on your defense for being out of 2, then you attack, pull them in, then you're within 2, and then you get rerolls.
I just realized Loki can't benefit from his own leadership.
No, he has his, but he gets all the power from.
Yeah,
So he benefits in different ways.
I think Asgard, if you're looking for splashes, you're looking for characters that throw stuff. Because there's only one brace. And the majority of Asgardians can already throw. So if all your characters can throw,
so you're
that shit
saying
adds up.
you're saying Rhino.
Rhino, like even Beast.
Yeah.
Just like simple throws, just throw simple terrain. It's it's damage that you don't have to roll for. It's not an action either. And if you're just throwing the whole board worth of terrain, like they can only brace once.
Yeah,
After that, just keep throwing.
Yeah, but that's where you just put in OG Hulk, and there's your 6th threat, and you're just eating him up with Loki's scalpel.
Sure. But if you didn't want to go, the Hulk or whatever, you just take other characters that throw. I just think throwing in general just adds up. I think the more throws, the better.
Sure, I mean, I absolutely love throws. Yeah. I just don't think Asgard's in a great spot right now in the
Yeah.
meta.
yeah, and it's
So I'm
weird
trying to think
because
of what
I'm
helps
trying
them.
to think of what would like shore them up, but they don't have a glaring weakness. It's just sort of like everything they do is sort of just like
I mean, they still hit. The problem is that you just don't have a lot of flex room in there because all your leaders are 5.
yeah.
And then most of your other affiliated characters are 5. So you
Yeah,
got
it's very
Sith at a
expensive.
4, you got Valkyrie at a 3, and those are about the only ones that are playable. some people try to make Heimdall work. I don't think I actually think he works better in Steve than he ever does in his own affiliation.
Yeah, I don't care for him. Every time somebody plays him, I don't feel like he does enough.
No. And Scourge is fun. He just dies to a stiff breeze.
Yeah. All right, so we'll put Asgard on the same layer as Apocalypse of like, don't know, maybe just none.
They need something, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, they need something, but I don't think it's something that a splash can fix.
I almost think with them, what you do is you dual affiliate and you splash the Asgardians into the other affiliation.
I think that is probably the correct answer.
But you
Yeah.
have the option to just go full Asgard if for some reason you think it's the viable choice.
Because like,
So your options are what? Basically Avengers and A-Force for that, where you have enough crossover
Probably.
Prime,
because of Loki.
well, Loki, yeah. And they like Beta Ray Bill because he's a potato.
Yeah, but I bet you if you take that dual affiliation, I bet you 99% of your games you're playing crime.
Probably. I mean, I think if you take A-Force and Avengers, 99% of your games are going to be A-Force and Avengers.
Yeah.
All right, so that wraps it up for all the affiliations under 20 characters. So I do have a fun little Crossroads quiz real quick. It's sort of not a quiz, it's just like a fun little thing. So we're going to blind rank 5 characters. All right, so I have a list of 5 characters. I'm going to name them one at a time, and you guys are going to rank them 1 to 5 without knowing who's coming next to see who makes the better list.
Okay. That's
Alright,
it. That's
okay.
what we're doing.
All right, I'm not telling you what you're ranking them on. It is up to you how you want to decide.
Is 1 the best and 5 is the worst?
1 is the best, 5 is the worst of whatever your rationale is. So the first character is Beta Ray Bill.
3.
4.
Second character, MODOK 2.
Wow. 5.
Third
3.
character, Crossbones 2.
Fuck
That's why I
you.
left my
4.
5 open.
John.
5. That's why I left my 5 open.
The next one, Carnage.
Oh, I guess he's my 2.
I guess he's my 2.
John, you used your 2 for MODOK 2.
No, I didn't. I used my 3 from MODOK 2. I'm writing him down.
I thought you said 2.
Yeah, he
My
changed his
apologies.
answer. He did say 2, but he changed it.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. John, you said 2 for Carnage?
Yeah.
And,
My 1 spot's left.
and what did you say, Sean?
2 for Carnage because I had 2 and 1 left.
Oh, so your 1 spots for both of you is the last character, which is Iceman.
I'm fine with
I'm
that.
fine with it.
That's okay.
So Sean's list from 1 to 5 is Iceman, Carnage, Beta Ray Bill, Crossbones 2, MODOK 2. And John's is Iceman, Carnage, MODOK 2, Beta Ray Bill, and Crossbones 2. So all in all,
Now
not
the
bad.
question is if we could change it.
I would, yeah. I mean, if I could change it, I would put Crossbones 2 in the last, and I'd swap Bill and Carnage.
Yeah, I would swap Bill and Carnage in mine. That would be my only change.
So you'd put Carnage down to 4.
Yes, and Bill up to 2.
Okay.
Yeah, Bill's definitely a 2. I'm fine with Iceman being 1 though. I'm
Yeah.
lock that
I think
in.
Iceman's highly underrated.
So let us know in comments or on our Discord if you agree or disagree with the ratings.
Mine's right because Crossbones 2 is in 5.
But I had Bill higher than you.
That's okay.
Okay.
We chose Bill first, so I was okay with putting Bill 4th because I didn't know what was coming up.
And you heard it here first. Sean likes Crossbones 2 more than MODOK 2.
Yep. I also don't play Bill like in anything. I know he's good, but I think he's boring as fuck.
He is a little boring.
You know, Gary, I've played the Crossbones 2 and MODOK 2 about the same amount of times, which is 0. So
People swear by Crossbones 2, though. I don't see it.
What people?
He comes up all the time in like people's lists when they're like, higher ranked players lists.
Does he make the table though?
Apparently, they really like that Pierce.
That Beam Pierce?
Yeah.
I mean,
he's like not as slow as they think you think he is, kind of thing. It's one of those situations. I don't know. Maybe we should just put him on the table, see how it goes.
Try him out.
Yeah, a real try, not a Gary try.
Give him the good old college try.
that means that one of us have to actually paint him in order to put him on.
He's a sweet model. I like the model itself.
Yeah.
Like him cracking his knuckles with the gun hanging off him. I think the model looks awesome.
God, he is 6 health for a 3 cost. I mean, his
Yeah.
his defenses are great as long as you're facing against an all physical team.
But that seems to be a thing, like Blob has the same thing, and he's pretty durable even for only having 2 Mystic and 2 Energy. Just having the reduce, kind of adds up and the push away for him. Beast is the same way. Beast gets played. He has 2 defenses. There might be something there. I just don't play like Cabal or Crime usually, so I don't really think he's splashable. Sounds like a Gary job.
So if I throw off a physical attack from Mephisto into Crossbones, I get to place him within 1 of Mephisto from 3 away, and then he'll get to aggressive.
Mm.
And then he can beam.
Yeah?
Yeah,
You might have to change up that crime list.
might have to give it the old college
I mean,
try.
he's not a terrible potato either because he does have I don't know if you'd ever take dig in Crime, but he can't be thrown 1 turn.
Yeah, but he can't do anything either, right? It's very weird. It's almost like survival, right?
No, it's just this round he cannot be moved by enemy or allied effects.
And while defending, he can reroll any number of his dice.
It's played during the power phase. But yeah, I mean, Crime has a lot of really good cards in it. So I'm
Yeah.
not sure it makes your 5 ever, but you can make it make your 5.
Yeah, I might have to give him a try with Mephisto just to see. Why not? It's like a whole new world.
I'm not singing.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna get somebody. And while an allied character attacks an enemy character holding or contesting an objective, it may reroll 1 of its attack dice. It can reroll skull results. So it's not once per turn. So as long as he's beaming like 3 people standing on a point, he'll get his reroll from Shadowlands on all 3 of them.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
if you're playing Shadowlands, yeah.
Yeah.
So Shadowlands, Mephisto, and Crossbones, you're at 7 for 12.
Yeah.
And you're affiliated, so after that you can basically do whatever you want.
God, I gotta put him on the table.
Yep,
Yeah.
we're changing it up.
So yeah, I stand by my Crossbones is better than MODOK 2.
I've played MODOK 2 in a lot of Crime. I've yet to play Crossbones.
But what's your win rate with MODOK 2?
It's not horrible, but
I mean, his win rate with Crossbones 2 is 0.
it's true. MODOK's also really fun to play.
I will say his fun factor, especially on his card.
Yeah,
But I mean, you kind of know how the stacks are split.
you do. But I have won a game using it, and that is all that matters.
I could have potentially lost a game into it one time, but I chose correctly.
You have chosen poorly. Oh. All right. Well, hey, thanks for having fun with my Crossroads quiz this time. Not really a quiz, but
That was a good, well, it's not a quiz, but a Crossroads challenge.
yes.
Well, with that, we have some upcoming events. Sean, if you want to read our upcoming events, we have some updates.
Sure things. We have our last chance qualifier coming up November 15th. It will be at Bazooka Games in Westminster. This will be during their minicon event. So during your lunch break and times, you'll be able to hit up the other side of the store and see all of the other game demos going on. I think they have some fun giveaways and other stuff going on that day as well. We also have Shorehammer, December 4th through the 7th in Ocean City, Maryland. Singles, doubles, and affiliation tickets are still available, and we are going to be doing our first attendance at Battle to End Alzheimer's, April 11th to 12th, 2026. Still got plenty of time before that event. It will be held at Dover Downs in Delaware.
All right. And we got more stuff on the way and in the works, so stay tuned for more events. Target Acquired Podcast is brought to you by Game Chefs, your ultimate destination for all things tabletop. Whether you're looking for a new exciting board game, assembling your squad in Marvel Crisis Protocol. Ooh, there was mumbled words there. Did you hear that, Mushmouth? Good lord, we're keeping that one in. Or building the perfect Warhammer army. Game Chefs has everything you need: miniatures, dice, rulebooks, and the best community of gamers around. And just for you, our amazing listeners, Game Chefs is offering 15% off your next purchase. Just use the code TAG, that's TAG2025 at gamechefs.org and save on your next adventure. Roll some dice and level up your game with Game Chefs. Link and code can be found in the description. That concludes this episode of a Target Acquired podcast. See ya!